Hi everyone, it's Aster. Hope you're having a good day. I'm sitting in a little stick fort I've been working on. Today I wanted to talk about childhood trauma. Like, what is it? How do you define it? How do you figure out if it's something you experienced? Because it's not always easy to tell. It can be really subtle, especially in our culture. So many traumatizing things are normalized and just kind of considered, well, that's just how it was. Um, So, yeah, the best definition I've heard is if you went through something as a kid that you don't want to put your kids through, you were in an abusive home, right? You experienced some trauma. Um, and I think this is really important for people in my family because they went through things in their childhood. They don't talk about them, but you can see the evidence on it on their faces and the way they act and in how they've decided to raise their kids differently than what they experienced. Um, and to you guys, I want to say I'm really proud of you for figuring out that things needed to change and for not continuing the cycle of abuse. Um, you can still love the people who perpetrated your abuse. You can still care for them, but you understand the distance you need to keep yourself safe. And I know some of you are in therapy, and I'm also very proud of you for that because that's big. That's a lot of work, and it requires being really vulnerable and really delving into your past and dealing with really uncomfortable things, and that's really hard. So I'm proud of you for doing that. To those of you in my family who are not in therapy, I would highly suggest it. I would look for a therapist that specializes in trauma, because if it's not something you've considered already, you're probably in a place where it's going to be really hard to dig it out, and you're going to need a skilled therapist who can really build a rapport with you and work with you on getting to the bottom of it. And it's important because it will help you be a better parent. It will, it will help you not make the same mistakes with your kids. To the parents of the parents out there, I don't blame you for anything. You were doing the best you could with what you had. So it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And I would urge you to support your kids in their healing journeys. And, if they need money for a therapist, kick some their way. If they need to talk to you and ask questions, and it's going to be really uncomfortable for you, right? Because there's going to be some feeling of blame, right? Again, I would want to emphasize, not your fault, but it is your responsibility to work with this. My parents, my mom and my dad, my dad finally started therapy last year. My mom's been in therapy for a few years now, and it's really made a change in them, and it's allowed me to connect with them in ways I was never able to as a kid because of the hurt they caused me. And it's never going to give me back the childhood I missed out on. It's never going to heal, it's never going to fix those wounds, right? Your life, your mind, it's like a tree. Trees show their scars. If they're a windswept tree, they get bent into a shape, and as they continue to grow, they will keep that shape. And your mind's kind of the same way. But it will make things easier, it will make you happier, and I think it will make you less lonely. Because it will be easier to connect not just with your kids, but the people around you. And it'll be easier to form those emotional bonds that you probably never really experienced in your life, because I bet you were also raised in an abusive household, because that's usually how it goes. It's generational trauma, it gets passed down, and the only way it stops is when people realize what's going on and they make a really big effort to try and correct it. And in my immediate family, in my household I grew up in, I was kind of the first person to figure out what was going on, and I kind of sparked. I was a nucleation site for the healing. I sparked this wave of healing in all my siblings and in my parents, and it's going to take us years to work through all of this if we ever finish working through all of it. But, it's really helped me to figure out how to be happy and how to move forward and get through these really tough times. And, I would like for you all to experience that, my whole family to experience that, because I think it is our right as humans to have a fulfilled and happy life, where we can wake up every day and be content and not be super stressed and be able to focus on the important things in our life, like our community, like our family, like our children, like the arts and the work that really, really speaks to us. And it all starts with that emotional healing. So if you're not in therapy, family members, or anyone really, please try. I know it's not, for our family, it should be accessible. I know everyone in our family has enough money to afford a therapist. Even you, Grandpa and Nana. I know you're getting on in your years, but you could live for another 20, and I would like to see you around that long, and I would like to be able to be in your presence and not be stressed out and not be aware of your hurt. I would like to see you healing it. Because right now it's really tough to be around you guys. It's really tough to pretend that everything's okay when it's so clearly not. And I really love all of you, each and every one of you. And I want what's best for you, just as I hope you want what's best for me. And so this is my advice to you: is find a way to start this healing journey. And it's going to be tough, but I'm here to for you to ask questions. And you will find fulfillment where previously there was none. So thank you for listening. I hope that all made sense. I hope you learned something. Love one another, love yourself, and I will catch you next time.